Hi, it's Kristen here. Welcome to another process video, and today I'm going to be working with Hip Kit Club. So this is some leftover clouds that I had from another layout that I had done, and I wanted to use these clouds again just because I thought they were so pretty. So I was like, I've got to do another layout using these clouds. And so I'm going to kind of do like I did with the first layout, which was to layer everything up at the top of the page. And the other layout I had done, I did end up popping pieces of the clouds up on foam. This, I just glued them on top of each other because I really felt like the way that they were shaded and all that, it really kind of helped cast a shadow on it anyway. So I didn't really feel like I needed to pop it up on foam. And then this was from, I don't know if it was from their December 2023 kit, but it was one of their winter kits. So I end up fussy cutting out the mountains. And the cloud was from the clouds were from their April kit. And then the background paper was just one of their just plain blue cardstock papers. So I'm going to layer the mountains on the bottom. And then I'm just adding some distress ink. And I don't know what color that is. That might be, I don't remember what color that is. But anyways, I just used a blue tone to kind of put a little bit of shadowing on the mountains. And that way they kind of stood out from each other. And then I'm going to go ahead and get these clouds glued down. And the photo I'm using is of my son. He's now 10. This was when he was getting discharged from the NICU. So we had been in the NICU for 5 weeks. He had surgery at 24 hours old. It was a very complicated pregnancy. So he had an ostomy until he was about 3 months old. And so we were really excited to bring him home. So I just thought that this was a perfect picture to incorporate along with the title that I decided to go with, which you'll see that here in a little bit. I end up putting this on some gray paper. I think this might have been the paper on the back of the mountains. And the Hip Kit embellishments I was pulling out, I didn't really feel like worked well with kind of like how kind of I don't want to say serious. I mean, it was kind of a serious time, but kind of the triumphant moment of it. A lot of it was like maybe a little too, I don't want to say cutesy, but I just didn't feel like it worked with kind of like the feel that I was going for with this layout. So I ended up pulling out Vicki Boutin pieces. And it's kind of like a mix from different lines that she's got out. So some of it might be from cut and paste. Some of it is from like stuff that I bought from Joann's. I'm not sure what all they belong to, but I was just pulling out pieces that I felt like worked. That little tag at the bottom, the green tag, that was a 49 a Market. And then this piece that I'm tucking in behind there was a 49 a Market piece too. The little doily piece that you see up there, which I think I end up getting rid of that. I don't end up using that. That is a 49 a Market piece too. I think that was part of that toddler time laser cut pieces. But I'm not 100% sure about that. The little bow that you see down at the bottom there, that's also a 49 a Market. So I was kind of pulling from a few different. This is actually from Pretty Little Studio, and I think that's from You Are My Sunshine. And I wanted to get this worked in because I kind of felt like it was a really happy day, and so it was kind of like, we were kind of emerging from the clouds with him finally getting discharged. But because it was like kind of becoming a tone-on-tone blue layout, I didn't feel like the other colors went with it. So I do end up fussy cutting out the red and the yellow and the orange, and then deciding to just go with the blues and the rainbow. And I put a little house there on the right-hand side since he was going home. Felt like that was pretty appropriate. And then these are little felt clouds that came in the Hip Kit Club April kit. So they were really, really cute. So I was like, well, that definitely would work on this layout. So I ended up putting those kind of scattered in some scattered spots. And then the saying that I decided to go with is, today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. So, of course, it's a Dr. Seuss saying. And I ended up having to cut that out on my Cricut with just some white cardstock, because all the alphas that I was trying to use, A, I wasn't going to either have enough alphas, or B, they just didn't work with the layout. So I just decided to cut it out. But of course, like when you do like any kind of like really thin, small writing like this, it can be really difficult to cut out the pieces. So I ended up having to put the cutouts like through a couple times just to because some of it ripped and things like that. So, and then it took me forever to get everything glued down, but I kind of felt like it was worth it and it was appropriate for this layout. So that little tag up at the top, I'm not sure what that came from. That might be a Hip Kit, the noted piece, and then that little blue piece next to it, I'm not sure what that says. That I think was a Hip Kit piece too. I think that was like a puffy sticker. So I'm just gonna get everything glued down. This layout took me a while, mostly because it was like getting those alphas cut out and then adhered down. I mean, that took a while to get those all glued down. But I really wanted that title on there. I'd seen that and thought, immediately thought of the clouds, thought of the mountains, and thought that was perfect to go with that. So here I'm going to write down kind of what was happening there with him going home. I don't typically journal a ton. Like I just want usually the place and the date and who's in it. Unless it's this is really special, but I'll have like some other layouts where I'll probably write more to it. But this is like one of the first baby pictures I've done of him. I think I've done a couple more, but I really need to sit down and work on his baby album. So here are some close-ups of it. I think it turned out really cute. I'm really happy with it. I was able to mix in a few different products and get some pieces used up. And that a lot of time that's what I'll do. If I have an idea in my mind of like what I want to, kind of how I want a layout to go, I won't necessarily stay within a collection. I will pull from different collections as long as it works together. I know like a lot of time it's easier to just pull from the same collection because they all work together, but sometimes you have to go off script and do your own thing. So here are some close-ups, and I appreciate you coming by to watch another process video.